I would like to say to all of you, Barafdes, because although I am British, I now live in Armenian and would like to think that I am an adopted Armenian. I cannot claim any breeding, but I can claim that adoption. And why? Because Armenia takes you to its heart and very quickly helps you to understand the depth of its identity and who and what Armenians are. And much to my surprise, opens its heart to those who want to know. And those who want to know are the students of UWC. Now, before I talk about the college itself, I would like to introduce you to one of our founders, Veronika Zonabend, who can't actually be here today. But she has recorded her thoughts, her vision, because it's thanks to her that we are there in Dilijan today. So first of all, can I introduce you to Veronika?
Education is the industry that creates the assets of post-industrial society. It shapes the minds of those who will create the future of this world. I believe that education, the approach to the education should be changed. It should stimulate and inspire young people to take the risks, not to be afraid of the mistakes, and to be ready to go out of the box. Our society with advances in technology becomes smaller, and their necessity to be able to embrace and communicate with the people of different cultures and different social layers becomes only more important. The most important skills to be taught in the 21st century are being creative, being able to take the risk, being able to communicate with other people, and also to be socially responsible. And unfortunately, majority of the schools don't teach that. And this project was to build this innovative education and to bring people from all over the world, both students and teachers, and help them to understand each other and go through the learning process they can take with them for the whole of their life. One of the biggest challenges of the existing system of education is that it is very theoretical and not very well connected with the real world. Success of any educational institution depends on the quality of the teachers, first of all. Because I believe that education first is the dialogue between the students and the teachers. And the dialogue should be valuable for both parts. So not only the students should be creative and out-of-the-box thinking, but the teachers whose role has changed in our time. The teachers are not anymore the source of information. Information is accessible for anyone now. But the teachers are more mentors. The idea of creating UWC Dilijan, the international school in Armenia, was to bring international education in this part of the world. We want Dilijan to become the place where people come to learn more about themselves and to learn more about other people. And the school that we created is the place where students not only come to acquire some knowledge and sit their tests, but to learn about themselves more and to learn how to understand other people who belong to different cultures, to different social layers, and to find what they want to do in their life, to be happy and make happy people around them.
With a vision like that, I was given the task of making sure the school does it. I think what I would call us is a learning community. because she's quite right. We as teachers learn from our students as much as they learn from us. There is no hierarchy. I am Denise to everyone in the college. We all use first names, it's very informal, but it encompasses our whole life. But what is so special about it is that if you walk through our doors, you would hear 82 different languages at any one time, because we have 82 different nationalities living together. If you think about it, we have youngsters between the age of 16 and 18 who, for the first time in their life, leave their home, they leave their country, they leave their language, they leave their established educational process and take up the IB. And they come to a place called Armenia, and if you ask them, many would say, "Where's Armenia?" before they come. And they arrive and are brought together to live as that community, that learning community. But at the heart of that community is learning about Armenia. Now, I'm often asked, why Armenia? Well, my response is, why not Armenia? Because Armenia has as much right to welcome these young people as any other part of the world. And it does. They arrive. It takes a little while to settle down. If you can imagine 200 youngsters all arriving and thinking this is Club Med for a while. Just imagine it. But very quickly we settle down, because it is very important to all our students that they become the person that they can be. Not just passing exams, that is important. And I'm often told, if I've got this choice, why do I have to turn up to lessons? And of course the question, well, why not? Of course you do. You know, you want to achieve, you want to be, you want to become the best person you can. But why are they doing it? Well, I'm often told that Armenia is a small country, it is still recovering from post-Soviet, etc. You know all that better than I do. But if Armenia cannot go to the world is coming to Armenia with our young people. And when they arrive, they don't just sit in the bubble, which is our wonderful college. It would be easy to do that, because it is beautiful, and I hope you've seen some of the pictures, you've seen us on internet, etc. Some of these lovely photographs of the things that they do. But of course, they don't just sit in this bubble. They go out into Armenia. We have various programs that explores Armenia. We have, as part of our IB, as you see here, one of our students going and talking to the youngsters of Armenia. It is called CAS, Community, Activity and Service. But it's not service such as we will go out there like Lady Bountiful. Absolutely not. We are there as partners with our Armenian friends. Many of our students have host families that they go and stay with. We learn about Armenia because we come to Armenia, we are there for 2 years, not a very long time. We learn about Armenia, we become adopted Armenians, and then we take Armenia out to the world. Today, you may or may not have had a chance to talk to 3 of our students outside. They spent 2 years studying the IB. It is a very prestigious qualification, and it will take you to anywhere in the world. And those 3 students are now at Berkeley. When I rang them and said, I am coming to Innovate Armenia, they had no hesitation whatsoever in coming straight down to be part of Armenia again. And if you hear them, they will tell you how much they miss Armenia, because it has begun to mean so much to them. And I've left them planning how they are going to form a reunion and perhaps get everyone back into Armenia to remember why they are here. I think what we are trying to do in the college is, having become part of it, is help Armenia, help our students, help our teachers, fellow teachers in Dilijan, to understand that perhaps there is a different way of learning as well as the way that they do. And I think, as Veronika referred to, we do not teach from the front. In fact, I feel very strange standing here in front of you. I feel I should be behind you as we are in classes. We don't teach from the front anymore. We teach alongside our students. More often than not, they will do the research for the lesson. And then we ask the questions, and they respond. We actually help them to understand that it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have, that's all in the machinery, but it's actually how to question. And one of the subjects that we have is called the theory of knowledge, TOK, TOK. And that is, as they would say, it teaches you to know, how to know, and what it is you don't know. And then what you don't know is what you do know if you don't know what you did know. And so it goes on. And I think by the end of those sort of lessons, they have gone round and round in circles, but have begun to understand that you have to challenge yourself. You can never just accept the norm. You really do have to challenge that what you're being taught, challenge yourself, challenge in every way. And that, of course, is why we say in the United World College movement that we are creating the leaders of the future, creating the change makers. And in fact, if our young people are not our future, we don't have one. So we put as much as we can into teaching them to take the responsibility not only for themselves, but for the countries they come from and the country in which they're learning. And it's not just in Armenia. Our children are here in Armenia, but there are 17 other countries, colleges around the world where students are learning the same thing. And one of the key parts of our learning is for peace and sustainability. That was our founder, Kurt Hahn, back in 1964, when the world was in the Cold War and nobody quite knew what was going to happen. And he felt that the only hope for the future were young people. So he founded the first college in Wales, actually, in the United Kingdom. And he founded it because he reckoned that if you bring young people together, if you actually, from different countries, you bring them and they live together. They don't just spend a few hours together, they live together. They will learn to respect each other. They will learn to understand each other. They will learn to work together. And they will learn to be the future together. And I think that is what we would hope, that where we are now in Armenia, that's part of what we do, part of that message that we want to give to our fellow Armenians. It may all sound a bit like it's just too altruistic, but it isn't, or we wouldn't be there. Now, you might also say, but you've only been there 4 years. How do you know the impact? How can you tell the impact that you are having there? Well, we can't in 4 short years. But if you look at Dilijan, where we are, when we arrived 4 years ago, there were no restaurants, and shops were there, but they were quite limited. There was a sort of sense that Dilijan was there, but where was it going? Now, I can't say that we have turned that whole thing round, but I will say that there are now 5 restaurants in Dilijan. that the businesses have increased, that the work with the community has definitely progressed, and that Dilijan is beginning to look up. Just this last year, it was given an award as one of the learning communities of the world by UNESCO. And that was due to the work that's been done by the community centre and by the college. And if we look at the history of Dilijan, if you look back, it used to be the centre of culture and music and learning. And how wonderful if we can be part of that future that says it will again be a centre of learning for Armenia. We certainly are hoping it goes along that route. And we will do everything that we can to ensure that it goes that way. Can I just use my other word, which I'm told I mispronounce appallingly, but Schnorrega Lucian.